Welcome to Chit Chat with Ross
and Robbie, where we like to chat
about chit.
We do, even on a Sunday. Sunday.
Sunday.
Peace be with you.
And also with you. So, Robbie,
Yes, Paige.
you know what I did last weekend?
I do know, but they don't know but they've been
They
following.
might know,
should
'cause they
know.
might be
What did you do, Paige?
I went back home
Back in time,
to Kennett Moe
our hometown.
for my 30-year class
Where you
reunion.
gone?
30 years ago, I graduated from high school.
Yes,
I sure did.
did.
Sure did. Don't look a day over 48, do I? Oh, wow.
Courtesy laugh.
Courtesy laugh. So, high school reunions.
Yes.
We had a 5-year, we had a 10-year, we had a 20-year, and we had a 30-year. It's all very interesting the way they work together, you know? Like
They're
so,
incremental for sure.
well, that's for sure. So, like our 5-year class reunion, we had just been out of high school 5 years. Some of us at that point had gotten married, some had kids. I was one of those who had a baby. But normally, people didn't have 5-year class reunions. I was so excited to see everybody. I organized our 5-year class reunion because I wanted to see everybody.
But now let's just jump from the 5 to now.
So 5 to now, we had 100. We started out the year with 159 kids in our graduating class.
That's one.
We graduated 151. So somewhere along the way, we dropped 8 of them.
Okay.
We have lost. I think we've lost 4 of them. That's what we're trying to decide last weekend. Yeah. And then we've got a couple who couldn't be with us due to legal circumstances. So anyway, we're looking at the numbers, trying to figure out. And
were you there?
Oh, at the time, yeah.
At the reunion?
Yes.
I didn't know.
Yes.
Legal obligations. I didn't know if you could go.
I was there. I was there.
She got to go.
So here's the deal. So they had the homecoming parade 1:30 in the afternoon on Friday.
They did.
I didn't make it to town, so I missed
slacked.
that.
She slacked off.
Well, I did. I slacked. But I did make it in time to the football game that night. It's our homecoming. It was Kennett's homecoming football game. So.
And we won.
The Indians played and
Go
they
Indians!
won.
Yay!
So there was a tailgate there. And it's funny because I've got 2 really good dear friends, Lynn and Andrea from 5th grade. I met them both in 5th grade and we've been great friends since. So Andrea had texted me earlier in the week and said, "Are you going to the tailgate?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm going." And she said, "I'm such a kid. I don't want to go by myself. Will you go with me?" I said, "Sure."
Just like high school.
Just like high school. So then talked to Lynn. Lynn said, "Oh yeah, we all need to go together." So Lynn and Andrea and I met my friend.
Together like.
So Lynn and Andrea and I met at my friend Kim's house, which was right across from high school. We walked over to the tailgate, and it was odd because I saw a lot of people that I knew, and Lynn and Andrea are like, "Oh my gosh, how do you know all these people?" I lived in Kennett longer than they did. I mean, I moved away like 10 years ago. Anyway, tailgate was fun. We're walking up there and we're like, "Is that so-and-so?" "Yeah, I think that's so-and-so." "Well, who is that?" "I don't know who that is." Well, apparently one of the organizers thought that this other person was like just some random person off the street. They totally didn't recognize that person. But it's fun to see the changes in people. Saturday, we did a tour of the high school. It's changed a lot. Mr. Ward Billings showed us around. He knows the everything about Kennett Public Schools. Saturday night was our big dinner and dance.
Oh.
We had
Did you eat? Did you dance?
We ate. I did not dance.
You did not dance?
No, I'm not a
dance.
dancer. Not a dancer.
She says that.
We had a DJ. Actually 2. It was Daryl and Darren. We had a patch bar, and the bar area was horrendously hot. Horrendously hot. Oh my gosh. So anyway,
that butt.
So the dinner, we had 25 of our classmates there. Out of the 140 so, yeah. Out of the 151 minus 4 minus a couple.
We did better.
We had a very low turnout.
Why was it such low turnout?
Well, I think there were a lot of factors. One, I think I think that some people didn't have enough planning time, maybe. And of course, money's always an issue.
You got to book a hotel.
Money's always an issue.
A sitter.
So, some people just don't want to go. I mean, of the 25 of us that were there,
we talked about that before. Like sometimes I feel like when people aren't at their healthy, and then they are a little self-conscious because they weren't as sexy as they were back in the day.
Yep.
So sometimes people want to make the excuse and or just not show up. So.
I completely agree, and I think there were a couple probably that way. Shame, shame, shame.
Shame, shame, know your name.
But
at the reunion, did you have like a good at the dinner portion at the festival night out? Even though there weren't a lot of people there, did you have a good time?
Had a great time.
Great time.
And it's funny because the majority of us who have spouses, partners, significant others, or somebody else in their life, most of us showed up single.
Because you wanted to have a good time.
I guess so. But now here's something I did find really interesting.
Okay.
We were all talking Friday night at the game about how, well, who do you think's changed the most? And we're looking around. Well, I don't think they've changed that much. That one hadn't changed that much. And we realized that the only person that really we thought had changed a lot was a person that's not on Facebook.
Oh, right.
So you keep up with everybody now.
And we talked about it before. Like, my class reunion was the year before, so last year we did an organized thing where we created Kathy did a Facebook page, which we all collectively were like, I know this person, I'll get them on the page or whatever. So we tried to get as many of our class members as we could connected to that page. And then I would say months, like, prior to leading up to that moment, like, people would add, and you're like, oh, Paige, like, I remember Paige, and then you would scroll over them and get to look at it. So I feel like we were familiar with what the other people looked like, even though our first reaction on the Facebook page may have been like, oh my gosh, that person's changed. But we didn't have that.
She got fat.
We didn't do that response like when we saw them, because we already saw them on Facebook.
Prepared.
So we're like, oh, stoic person got big.
You look great.
You look great. You did a good job on your hair.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right, well, maybe you have had a great time at your reunion, and you'd like to share that with us. Maybe you had a bad time. Maybe you just didn't want to go.
But, okay, I was going to say real quick, the 25 of us that there, we were mostly out-of-towners.
That's how it is.
I mean, there's people right there in Kennet who did not come.
I don't want to throw people under the bus on this one, okay? So when I went to our reunion, I don't know what the percentage of people. We had a bigger turnout. We had a much bigger turnout.
And you had a much smaller class.
We had a smaller class. I feel like a majority of us were there. I would say well over half of us were there. So I think I don't know where I was going with that. Shoot.
Okay, I got one more thing to add real quick.
We gotta go.
I know, but we learned that at the time we were there, band. You know, people talk about band nerds. Band was a huge thing. Sorry.
Yeah.
At the time we were there, 50 to 51% of the student body was enrolled in band. That is one kid for every 2 kids is in band. Band was a big deal. Loved it.
What I was gonna say is, so the people who did come to my particular reunion of the 30th, like, we were mostly the people from out of town.
Yeah.
And I had heard the excuse before that the people who lived in town
saw each other all the time.
They see each other all the time. They run into
well,
each other.
Well, they didn't see us.
And we traveled to see you. We wanted to come and see you. So
yeah,
that's it. Like, when you went to your class reunion,
if you went,
did you rekindle a friendship that you didn't have? Like, maybe you had a rivalry with somebody and you weren't on good terms, but now you really just, like, time has gone. And maybe you found an old flame who maybe they've changed for the better or worse. You know.
I did not see no.
We don't know. Anyway, leave these comments down in the box below. Don't forget to like us.
Don't forget to share.